What is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours nonstop NBA DFS conversation starts right now, taking it all the way up to tip-off, all the way up to lock, 7 o'clock on the East Coast. There are 10 games tonight in the association, but both DK and FanDuel, they got together. They said, you know what? Let's ditch the last 3. We're not talking about the Rockets and the Blazers, or the Kings and the Warriors, or the Bucks and the Lakers. Some stars on that slate. I assume it's probably a late night slate. We're not discussing that. We're talking about the main slate that goes from 7 o'clock on the East Coast up to 9 o'clock on the West Coast. Joining me today, Bobby Gomes, former $1 Million winner, 6-figure winner in the football streets not too long ago. He's got his playoff mustache on right now. Is this in honor of the Patriots, or is it just a coincidence? Where did the stash? Is this just been here this whole time? I just missed it. I feel like the stash is new.
The stash is new. Went to the barber shop. Don't want to get haircuts. Refuse to get haircuts, so we just did the stash. I get my beard grows in so fast. It's terrible. But yeah, the stash is fine, you know.
I never had a professional
girlfriend likes it, Dean. You know, so
there you go. I'm sure the chat's not going to have fun with that at all. You making that comment, but what's up, chat? Hit that like button, do subscribe, do turn on those notifications, and yeah, I've never had a professional shave. In part because I've never actually had like any kind of a beard. I can't really grow one, but
you can grow one though. I've seen you with a mustache.
It takes a long time and it is hideous, but yeah, it's not encouraged. I shouldn't.
It's not bad that you can't grow one. I wish I couldn't grow one. It'd be a lot easier to look presentable on shows.
No, well, you pull it off. You make it work. But I do like just the stash. What does that cost to get the shave on the face and leaving a stash? Is that a la carte or it comes with there?
Says like, yeah, you can. He does it for me for free, and I just throw him $20 every time.
Oh, you got a guy. You got a mustache guy.
Got a mustache, yeah.
Are we? How are we feeling about the Patriots? Let's discuss for a second. We have time. Football's going down. By the way, Pick 6 show. We recorded a Pick 6 show. If you want to get some thoughts as far as the wild card weekend, myself, Daigle, and Rebar, that is on the RotoGrinders page. So do check that out. Are you doing your show this weekend, Bobby? Are you guys doing it on Friday? You doing a football show?
I haven't been on that show all year, Dean. I have one show. It's with you and Tim. Yeah,
that's right. You made a cameo appearance on it. Yeah. You were once with the Kirk D show. You guys had
they're doing it though. I think they're doing it.
Breakup. I don't. So my bad. I don't know if that show's happening. Let me know, TJ. Is that show is that on the schedule? Is there going to be?
Yes, but an hour earlier than usual. It'll be tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Okay. Yeah. So that's Beer and Kirkwood and Noto. Noto joining the show later as well. Noto working all the sports. TJ is going to be spinning all the plates. He's producing, and he's giving analysis later on with Kevin Roth holding it down. But how are you feeling about the Patriots? Did you have any thoughts? Are you emotionally hedging? I know some years you're more of a Patriots fan than you're not, depending on, I guess, how good they are. Yeah.
I love the Pats. Shrek called me out on Twitter the other day because I was basically like, this is a trap game. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a tight game. The Chargers are they're not really a 7 seed in my opinion. And they pose a lot of difficult matchups for the Patriots, whether it's like the passing game. I think Gonzalez will have trouble in McConkey or Quentin Johnson or whoever he ends up being matched up with. The running game's pretty good. Their defense is fine. I think the Patriots probably win, but like this is the spot where I could see there being an upset. I don't think it's anything to do with the schedule. I think the Pats are good overall. I just think this is going to be a grinded out game. Definitely going to be a rock fight, I would say, in my opinion.
Interesting. I feel really good about the Patriots. So I bet them on the alt lines too. I just think the Chargers, their line is so dead, and that's just such a problem. I love Herbert, but their line is dead. Their running back situation is kind of murky as well, but don't want to give the people too much football data, but I like your Pats, and hopefully they do cover hard and hit the alts. Shout out to the Hurricanes, but the Hurricanes are into the national championship. Get a home game in the Orange Bowl, not the Orange Bowl. I guess, is it the Orange Bowl? Is it called the Orange Bowl? It's going to be in Pro Player, I believe. So, no, it's not called Pro Player anymore. It's called Hard Rock Stadium. All right. Bad show by me so far, Bobby. I'm like 0 for 4. I've got like 6.
I did that show. No one even notices. Who's even listening, really, Dean? You know, they just want to hear NBA stuff, so they're not paying attention.
So we can just start right now and pretend all the errors I've had. TJ will fix it in post for sure because he's got my back on this. And
I gotta say, I feel the opposite. I don't think I've ever felt as picked apart as when on these shows. People in the chat will be talking about your appearance, talking about anytime you slip up and miss a word. I had a funny one the other day where I called, in the context of having like a high ceiling, I called Isaiah Stewart like a great play for looking for upside.
Yeah.
And somebody just called me out for like, Isaiah Stewart, great. You think Isaiah Stewart's great?
He was a great play in that
and
slate.
Then he ended up breaking the slate the other night, so that felt pretty good.
Scoreboard. Are you saying scoreboard? Do you remember that was?
Scoreboard on him.
There you go. He did nothing else besides score, which was kind of weird. He had like 30 points and didn't do anything else as far as the peripherals, which is usually something he'll mix in some boards and some technical fouls. He might have got one of those. I don't recall. All right. So tonight, the 7-gamer. I saw Hoosiers hang banners in chat, by the way. Good luck to your Hoosiers tonight. I'm sure it's a big deal for you. So, big deal for the state of Indiana taking on the Ducks later on this evening. Yeah, so OKC. OKC is the story of the slate. You know, how much Thunder is too much Thunder. Best team in basketball. They have been scuffling in their last, 12 or 13 or 14 games. The Utah Jazz took them to overtime in OKC. They did pull out the victory, but still. And that was right after they lost at home to Charlotte. Things obviously not amazing these days in OKC, but they are sitting a bunch of players, and there's a pile of value for the Thunder. I'm going to go ahead and get my 5 o'clock report here, according to the NBA injury report, but I imagine it's nothing different from 4:45. I've seen nothing change. But, yeah, the Thunder, SGA is not playing basketball tonight. They gave him an ankle. Hartenstein has a strain. Chet Holmgren, he's got shins, not one but 2. Carson Wallace, he's got a toe. He's got 10 of those, but one is the great toe, and it's not feeling well. It's probably fine. Let's be honest. He's just not playing. They're just mass resting. The bad Jalen Williams, the not as good Jalen Williams, I guess you can say it in a positive way. He's out with his heel. So we're looking at 11 Thunder players, possibly 10 if we lose Caruso. And not just that, but they're all really, really cheap. Most of them are. AJ Mitchell feels like it's just kind of a lock button in my situation. And if you're hitting optimize right now, you're getting 3 or 4 or 5 Thunder pieces, depending on. Brandon Carlson looks like a really good point per dollar play. As far as the spend up Jalen Williams, I did the court IQ stuff on it. 32 minutes, now 32 minutes, grain of salt. And I only kicked off the 3 main guys in SGA and Hartenstein, Holmgren, and those 3, I think it was. And he had like a 49% usage, which, I can't imagine that's sustainable, but it just goes to show the role should be spectacular. On the other side, by the way, John Morant is not playing basketball. Who knows if or when he'll play basketball before the Grizzlies again, because we might have another Trae Young situation here on our hands. Allegedly, he is on the block. I think that's the big picture before we kind of dive in, game by game, Bobby. Do you agree that how you handle the Thunder is very important to the slate?
Yeah, my top 4 highest owned players are all Thunder. I think Ajay Mitchell is probably the best. Brandon Carlson and Kenrich Williams should be splitting the center minutes. I probably lean Carlson. I do think Kenrich Williams also has value, but currently getting a lot of Brandon Carlson. Have Jalen Williams at the field. He's pretty much the main guy. And then Aaron Wiggins. I'll probably be under on Wiggins at 4,200. But I still think I'll have a decent amount. Like if he's 60% owned, I'll have around 40. I'm just going to take an under approach. Yeah, the Thunder are very important to the slate.
Yeah, we'll get there soon enough, but they project pretty well, and it's going to be hard to avoid them. It's no matter how much Thunder you get in. As far as some pieces we're still kind of waiting for when it comes to the injuries and getting some clarity. We still don't know about Trey Murphy. It seems likely he's going to play. If we don't know, Crunch Time's going to know, because that is a 7 o'clock game. He's got that back. He is questionable. We'll talk about New Orleans here in a second. Trae Young is not playing for Washington tonight. Might not play for Washington the entire season. They have no reason to want to win. They have to stay they need like the 4th worst record to guarantee themselves to keep their lottery pick if the ping pong balls go the wrong way. So they have to start losing some games. So they probably don't want to play him. And then next year is a player option for like $50 million, and then he's a free agent. I don't really understand any of that happened there with Trae Young, why Washington wants him, but that's a story for another day.
Why does anyone want him?
Well, I mean, he's a good offensive player. He's a good scorer. He's a good, he can get you a bucket if you need a bucket. Of course, there's some defensive issues.
So
cost is an issue. that it showed the market like the best they got. There was no draft picks. They got McCollum and Kispert. That's what they got for Trae Young. That's the best they can do. TJ said Washington gave up nothing, by the way. Yeah, basically, they gave up nothing, but they also kind of gained nothing. They're not going to play him this year, probably. At least they don't want to play him because they don't want to win. And then next year, he's
absolutely playing this year.
Well, they're going to play him very little. I'm not sure if you've seen the reports on this. Maybe you've missed the reports. They're disencouraged to play him because they want to lose. And the beats are saying he might play.
If they want to lose, there's no better person to roll out there.
Well, he's not that terrible. He's not like Cam.
He is bad. I'm with TJ.
Like he took the Hawks to the playoffs.
The Hawks had a good team around.
Finals versus the Bucks.
I mean,
he's valuable in this league because teams prioritize spacing the floor, which I think he does. But I feel like that's his only value.
Well, the other thing is there are more players now that can do the spacing thing, so he's a little bit less valuable at a similar, rate.
It's like the second Isaiah Thomas, like the one who played for the Celtics and the Kings. If that type of situation, yeah, you can put up 30 a night, great. But when you're the worst defensive player in the entire NBA, that matters.
I think that's a little harsh to call it. I'm a Trae Young hater, and you have me defending Trae Young because it's a little harsh calling him IT2.
He's one of the worst defenders in the entire NBA.
But he's a better offensive player than IT2 was. Better shooter than him.
Shooter, yes. I don't know if
is he a better shooter on reputation though? I feel like every time he's shooting in volume, he's pretty pathetic.
I don't know if Trae Young has ever had a season as good as Isaiah Thomas is in Boston.
Oh boy, I didn't realize we were going to get into this, but check and see. Feel free to circle back on that, TJ. But I feel like it's a little bit insulting. And I loved Isaiah Thomas. He was fun to watch. I loved watching him and Boogie Cousins. Speaking of, did you see the comment he made today about Rick Carlisle? He said Rick Carlisle would send him selfies to try to get him to come to his team. Is that random? Yeah.
Boogie Cousins or
yeah. Boogie Cousins was saying that like Rick Carlisle would like randomly send him texts and like I miss you, I want to coach you, or what? I don't know. It was very strange. It was very odd. But apparently Rick Carlisle was like sending him DMs and sending him texts, like basically saying,
"Send me to get on the show with you."
Say it again.
It's like the selfies you send me to get on the show with you.
Yeah, well, that's only for your eyes, Bobby.
455, yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to say, big picture, before we dive in and talk about tonight's 7-gamer? We got plenty of time to knock it out. The Thunder are going to be super important. I'm going to see if anything's changed as far as the optimal stuff. I think we're still getting.
I think Toronto's important, right? Scotty out, Ingram, Q-tag. Like, that's news we have to kind of wait on, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I thought it was going to be more important, but it definitely matters. And we might lose Ingram. He's like the slowest healer. He always tends to take longer for his injuries, but he's already questionable after that injury with his thumb, so I guess he's fine. Speaking of, by the way, Anthony Davis has got that hand, and he's out for weeks, apparently, and possibly might have to get surgery. So, boy, if that trade could not possibly look any worse, not that you play results, but also Anthony Davis's track record kind of suggests this was inevitable. But, okay, let's talk about the Pels. The Pels and the Wizards. This is one of my favorite games on the slate. It is coming at us at 7 o'clock, 241.5. That's the total. By the way, front and back as far as, island games, not island games, only 2 teams playing on the front end. That's Boston, your Boston Celtics, and the LA Clippers. No team played yesterday and is playing today. So almost every team on the slate is on an island game. Love this matchup here with the Pels and the Wiz, 241.5. That's the total. Again, Trae Young is not there, and we don't know when he's going to start playing. If again, that stuff's kind of murky, but it's DFS. We care about today and today only. Today, Trae Young is not playing. Neither is Cam Whitmore, so they got some of their pieces back. They don't have to play Bub Carrington 40 minutes, whatever it was last time out. New Orleans, we're still losing Grand Theft Alvarado, no Jose Alvarado, no Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey is out as well. Herb is out too. So several of their wings are out in Bey and Herb, and Trey Murphy is questionable. The lean is likely to play. We shall see. I'm assuming he's going to play as well. But yeah, we got Fears, the Revenge Jordan Poole game. We're expecting Poole to start alongside Murphy, Zion, who got a nice boost in his minutes last time. If that game didn't blow out, I wanted to pull it up on the court IQ, but he was on path to play more minutes than anticipated. But Washington, New Orleans, I feel like this is one of the best games on the board amongst the 7. What say you, Bobby? How are you feeling about this Pels Wiz matchup?
Yeah, I'm buying significantly into the Jordan Poole revenge narrative.
Oh, vengeful?
I think he's vengeful. He wasn't vengeful towards Draymond Green, but he's going to be vengeful towards the Washington Wizards tonight, hopefully. I have a good bit of Jordan Poole. On the other side, Bub Carrington. I know they got a bunch of their guards back with Keyshawn George, and Trey Johnson's been playing pretty well. Probably max one of those 3. I think Bub's probably my favorite, although George will eat into him, and Trey Johnson's been playing well. I don't really know how that rotation's gonna go with all 3 of them in there. Yeah, Zion. I think Zion's perfectly fine up in pace matchup. Good spot. Totals are high on both teams. Alexander Sarr, he's someone I'm considering as well. Trey Murphy situation. Did you say Trey Murphy was Q tagged or what's
he is? Yeah. My guess. I don't know this, but I think it's a pretty strong lean that he plays for Murphy. Yeah. But he's officially questionable, and this is 7:00. We'll know. I think we had an if-then set up for it. If he doesn't go, let me give it a scroll because we had not so many, but multiple players. Yeah. So Zion would pop even more. Poole would pop even more. Derek Queen would pop even more. Those are the 3 that would really jump. Yves BC would be a neutral play. McGowan's would be okay. He played a ton of minutes last time out. McGowan's. He's just not a great fantasy point per player, but yeah, it would be Zion just getting more, Poole getting more, and Queen getting more as far as what I'm seeing. If we lose Murphy, usage is going to shuffle even more their way, but they're already pretty strong plays in my opinion. Zion, Queen, and Poole. Yeah, but I'm assuming Murphy's in, and I think Murphy's a really good play too.
Yeah, I'm with you on Murphy. If he wasn't in, I would bump all those guys, Zion, Poole, Derek Queen, like you said. Chris Middleton at 4K, I think he's somewhat interesting. I think that price tag's probably too low. Don't mind Middleton. He's probably my favorite value pivot. Well, obviously Bub Carrington, if you count him as value at 4,900, he'd be my favorite, but I think Middleton's also in the mix.
You know what? I goofed and I forgot to tell people about Film Friday. I was so flustered about all the errors I made at the top of the show. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NBA, MMA, PGA. PGA coming back, I think, next week, I want to say. The 15th? Does that sound right? I think there's something happening in the golf streets very, very soon.
Is it the Sony?
I don't know. That I cannot confirm. But yeah, I believe golf is back. And I don't know if it's a sputtering event where just nobody shows up and just the back 50 guys or something. I couldn't tell you. But I did
my own horn, but I won the Sony one year.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Shout out. Do you even know golf, or you just run you run lineups?
How did you get invited to the tournament? That's pretty impressive to go to a tournament like that and win without having a tour card.
Oh,
I'm a fantastic golfer,
Well, Bobby, here's the thing. He was really good.
All-rounded athlete.
Yeah. Bobby had a hockey injury, and he somehow translated his hockey skills to golf. Great driver. No, it's not the best putter, but you figured it out.
I'm actually a really good putter.
You gonna roll out of bed and shoot an 80?
With my irons, I can putt. My driver, it's long and right.
I didn't actually say what it was. The clue, it is scrolling. The scrolling clue. You're looking at the screen. It is rhyme. Rhyme is the first clue for Film Friday. Tell me what film I am talking about in the Discord channel, and I'll drop the next clue in like 2 or 3 minutes after this game because I want to catch up. My apologies for not being on top of it. RotoGrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. I'll be the first person to tell me what film I am talking about. Rhyme. Several people guessing 8 Mile. That's a good guess. Hustle and Flow. Love that movie. That's a good guess too, but it is not. It is not neither of those movies. I will say somebody binked our game last time and won, and I was very upset about it. So I made the game a little bit tougher. So I don't know. Do what you can with Rhyme. You're probably not going to get there, but on the whole, it's all going to make. All right, Bobby. How do you mentioned Sar, right? You like Sar a good bit. He's one of my favorite plays on the slate. Like the matchup. I was looking at the DVA stuff, the defense versus archetype. If you fire that up in the lineup HQ, if you want to call Murphy a shooting wing, which I think you should, that is the appropriate title for him. This is the best matchup in all of basketball from a fantasy perspective for shooting wings. It is the 4th best matchup for versatile forwards. That's Sar. So feel pretty strong about that. 7th best matchup for Zion, versatile big, as is Derek Queen, who I guess nobody gave the coach the memo that he had a revenge game against Atlanta last time out because they barely let him play. He played like 20 minutes or so. I did pull it up. I wanted to point out Zion last game, right, against Atlanta. They lost by 17. They were blown out. Bobby, and this is also I think this is the back half of a back-to-back. It was the back half of a back-to-back. He played 31 minutes and 26 seconds, right? And he didn't play the last 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Now, I'm not saying you can
that cost me that wasn't helpful to me. No, he played into a blood. Was it him playing into a blood, or I don't even know.
I mean, it was teetering, and then eventually they called up the dogs. But so he played until the 2:44 mark, the last time out of the game, I would assume. And then he was called up. But the point is, he played 31-26, and there was 2:44 left. And I'm not saying, hey, that means he was going to play 34 minutes, but like maybe he could have played 34 minutes. Maybe, I'm not sure. But it's just of notes. It's of notes. And if we can get Zion for like 32 in that area, what are we? I imagine you can't really, you can't project that as a median number. Oh, we are. We're giving it 32. Okay. You can't get to 33, 34, but maybe that's in range. So like Zion, the point is I like the Zion. Zion's an awesome play, in my opinion, in this slate. Murphy's great. It's like this game and OKC is like, and then some Atlanta, possibly some Denver if we lose Jamal Murray. That is kind of the slate for me. I don't have a lot to say about every single game, but I love this game a lot. Anything else you want to say as far as New Orleans and Washington?
You asked about Sar. I think Sar definitely has upside. Coming off not the greatest game, I do think in this spot, he's someone you want to. You mentioned the defense versus archetype. It's a good spot for him as well. So I don't hate the Sar call.
Shout out to our guy, Real Broccoli Boy in chat. Big fan favorite of most was definitely Bobby. He's calling a shot on Film Friday. It is not. It is not Do the Right Thing. You are incorrect. And you know what, Broccoli Boy? You know you're supposed to submit that in the Discord channel. You know better. Even if you were right, that wouldn't count. Okay. Give me your favorite play on each side of this game. Your favorite player on both sides is who?
Favorite player? Jordan Poole would be my favorite player on the Pellies. And then on Washington, I'll say Bub Carrington.
Let's go with the second clue. I promised I'll drop the second clue momentarily. First one is rhyme. Second one, TJ is going to drop it here in a second. It is prison. Rhyme and prison. First clues. Second clue for Film Friday. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Game number 3, it's Philadelphia and Orlando, the second of 3 7:00 games, 226.5. That's the total. The Magic, they're 4-point dogs here at home to the 76ers. Really not a lot new on Orlando. We do have Jace Richardson officially available, so nothing really changing. All the Wagners, Moritz, and Franz, they're out. As far as Philadelphia, Embiid, he's good to go. He's officially probable with his knee. Kelly Oubre's back. He's available. So this team is about as healthy as you're going to see him, the Sixers. Justin Edwards just not with the team anymore. And, everybody being back, he's kind of out of the rotation. He will be out of the rotation anyway. Sixers, Magic. What do you got, Bobby?
Yeah, Banchero's probably my favorite play in this game at 9,300. Just always has triple-double upside. Trying to get over on him. And then on the Sixer side, Embiid's been playing very well at 9K. Don't mind him. He's probably my favorite 76er. Maxey, 700 more. I still think Maxey's very much in play. You could go the VJ Edgecombe route at 6,800, who's been playing fantastic. I'm not getting a ton. It's more getting over on the low ownership of both Maxey and Embiid and getting to Banchero. Those are like the four main plays for me in this game. Hello?
Yeah, my bad. My apologies. I got that wasn't an ultimate mute, but it definitely was a mute.
Maybe this is a rough show for you, Dean. Did you do anything weird earlier today, or
ayahuasca? Should I not have done that?
Yeah, you probably should have asked him.
And this is not going on the sizzle reel, I'm pretty sure. As far as ownership stuff, everybody in single digits. So it's not going to be a popular game on DK. You mentioned Banchero, 8%, Embiid 7%, Maxey is 7%. Like all these guys, like they're good players, right? We like Banchero, we like Embiid. Maxey gets there many times. They're priced where they should be. They're priced accordingly. There's no discounts. Can we get ceiling games? Sure, but math-wise, if we're busting out the old calculator, nothing really jumps off the page. And I'm just kind of hoping this is a quiet game. I don't make a lot of lineups. I assume we're running 150 today, Bobby. Is that what we're doing?
No, we're not running 150, but I built 150 for the show. So
okay.
Yeah.
Are you doing just a couple main? What are you doing?
I'm probably just going to play one satellite team. I'm getting near my limit for the week on DK. So yeah,
hold on.
In mass.
What do you mean? Wait, limit? Are you only allowed to play so much as far as the site caps you?
Deposit.
Oh, okay.
On the site, yeah.
You must have did a quick withdrawal after winning 100K.
Every time I take everything off. Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's a state thing in Massachusetts, you said?
Yeah, you can you're limited based on what you can play weekly, unless you have like adaptation of wealth or whatever.
So if you have like a 6-day run of just you're not doing well, you might be running out on the 7 days. Essentially, is what you're saying.
Well, for me, it's I just take out, pay back my loan or whatever.
Yeah,
use BTC loans from Coinbase. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing, but all right. Anything else as far as Philly, Orlando? We're moving on, I think, right?
Yeah, we're moving on.
What are we talking about here in the chats as far as injuries? I see TJ saying never go by FanDuel or DK's icons. They're rarely right. They're sometimes right like a day ago or like 12 hours ago, but they're generally not up to date. They're not. You're not going to get the most accurate information now, which is what we need. The information now. So I'm not really sure what player we're talking about, but the injury report I ran off is the accurate one.
Jamal Murray still listed as probable on FanDuel.
Yeah. I think that's definitely something that's worth talking about. And that's also the last game of the night. And midday downgrade with an illness too, which you never really know that stuff works out. But generally, midday downgrade to illness, not a good sign. But yeah, that is get it right, FanDuel, or just don't have it at all if you're not going to be accurate. Toronto, TJ's Raptors take on Bobby's Celtics. 223.5. That's the total. The Celtics are 11-point favorites here in Boston. Not officially ruled out. Scotty Barnes is doubtful with his knee. We're assuming he's out. Brandon Ingram's got that thumb. He's questionable. We're projecting him in currently. And Pirtle is still out with his back. Boston is
Ingram ruled out.
Oh, okay. That is interesting.
It was ruled out. I didn't hear what he said.
Ingram. I was going to say, I didn't think he was going to play because he left the game, didn't come back, and went immediately to the locker room with no chance of coming back. So I think he's going to be out a few games.
I was surprised he was questionable because he is a notorious slow healer. As bad as Trae Young is on defense, Brandon Ingram is at healing. Always, he never hits his dates. They say he's going to be back in like 4 weeks. He's never back in 4 weeks. But yeah, okay, that is interesting. I think we have an if-then set up for that. I can run that off, which will probably be plugged into the numbers soon. Yeah, RJ Barrett would pop, quickly would pop. I mean, they're probably going to start somebody like Jacoby Walter or Agbaji, and I don't think you want those guys. They could be like false starters. Do we have actually our projected lineup? Yeah, so we're projecting quickly Walter, Barrett. Oh, that's interesting. CMB and Mamukelashvili playing alongside each other. I mean, it could be Agbaji. Shed's probably going to get a little bit more run. You might get a little bit more Dick. But basically, Barrett gets a nice boost. Quickly gets a nice boost. Sandro looks pretty good too, assuming he starts, and we shall see. And I mentioned Boston is just super healthy. You know, they have their guys. You know, Brown's been awesome. He's still upset about not being player of the month last month. You know, but they're just kind of priced where they should be. They're probably going to win this game in double digits. I would imagine so. But yeah, how are we feeling about Boston and the Raptors, Bobby?
Yeah, on the Boston side, Jaylen Brown's definitely my favorite. 9,500. I personally usually don't like playing Jaylen Brown, but playing him tonight, I think Derek White is fine. Peyton Pritchard would make my 150 pool, but it's mainly Jaylen Brown. On the other side, RJ Barrett, I think with Ingram out, he's definitely, I'm trying to get as much Barrett as possible. Quickly definitely gets a boost now with Ingram out. And Sandro would probably be my favorite Toronto Raptor. Going to try to get over the field there, whatever that is, after ownership kind of changes up here with Ingram out.
So our projection team is on top of this. Give it a refresh on Lineup HQ. They already plugged in their thoughts on Toronto. I did want to pull up like the fantasy point per minute stuff. I know on and off stuff matters too, but just kind of thinking about some of these fringe players. I know CMB's had his moments. He's had some good games, but he's not a big usage guy. But he's been close to a fantasy point per minute. I think Sandro's better as far as ceiling. So he's over a fantasy point per minute. I want to see how this stuff shakes out. And I'm giving it a refresh right now. Here's our projections coming on through. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Still not Brandon Ingram still in there. I got to give it a refresh one more time. I bet he's going to be gone now. He is. Okay, so 35 minutes to Barrett, 34 quickly. CMB 29, Mamukelashvili 27. Walter 26, which is not enough. Agbaji 26, not enough. Sheets kind of sort of somewhat interesting as like a deep GPP stuff. Dick 19 minutes, not enough. Yeah, okay. So really it's Barrett, like you said. Barrett I think is the best play. I think quickly is a strong play. And then we have CMB and Mamu pretty close. More minutes for CMB, but more fantasy points for Mamu because he's a better fantasy point better player. Yeah, I would go Barrett.
It doesn't matter now, but I definitely would have liked quickly a lot less if Ingram was in. It's Barrett for me that is the one that is easily the best play. Even now, like I'd bump quickly, but Barrett for me, for sure.
Also, Barrett's minutes are really full. 35 minutes last time out. He's going to be asked to do a ton this game as well. So, yeah, like he came back from injury, and he 30, 31. What was it? And then 35. So it's kind of spiked up. He seems to be basically where he needs to be, and they're going to push him as hard as necessary in this game. Celtics, Bobby, the problem with the Celtics, again, they're all fully healthy. Nobody really is a great price play, but you really can't assume that Jaylen Brown's going to drop 40 in the bucket. He certainly can. How do we feel about your Celtics?
Yeah, like I said, Jaylen Brown would be the one I'd take the overweight stance on. At 9,500, it kind of scares me. He has been playing well. Derek White probably be around the field. Pritchard would be the only other Celtic I didn't consider, and he'd just make my pool. I wouldn't be trying to go overweight on Peyton Pritchard at 6,700. It's mainly Jaylen Brown.
All right. Anything else as far as Toronto and Boston? I'm going to see if this changes our optimals, like if any of these Toronto guys are jumping in there now. I'm going to guess Barrett is jumping in.
What about Sandro? I wonder how much Sandro increases, especially if he's starting, because he seems like a really good play. I liked him even with Ingram in, so yeah.
And he might even benefit from a blowout because if he's not starting, he could stick around for not.
What is worth? We projected both Sandro and Murray Boyle to start before Brandon Ingram even got ruled out.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, that was just for Scotty Barnes, and so I think probably pretty likely now. But outside of that, I was just coming in to say, because you asked how many Raptors popping in the optimal. Barrett and Quickly are the two Raptors currently in the new optimal with that projection.
Yeah, it's interesting. I added some variants and stuff, and they're not my first, but they're definitely hitting. The first 4 most popular plays on DK are all Thunder players. Not terribly surprising, but eventually we get some Barrett, we get some Quickly. If I'm picking one, it sounds like you agree. You prefer Barrett over Quickly.
I like Barrett over Quickly. I thought you were asking TJ. Yeah.
Yeah. TJ went bye-bye. He's back to producer land. He'll pop in and out though. TJ, whatever you want. Feel free to chime in.
Hiding something. I don't know what he's saying. What he's insinuating.
Well, he's not officially on the show. He's on the next show. He'll chime in and he'll do his producer thing. He's spinning the plates, but he also he's got to shout out his Raptors, right? Anything else here of notes, or shall we scoot along?
We can scoot along, and unless you want to keep talking about the Celtics and Raptors, Dean.
I don't love the Celtics because, again, you can certainly play 1. I probably would cap it at 1.
I'm with you on the cap at 1 for sure.
I guess Jaylen Brown is interesting because, he's not going to be rostered,
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Yeah.
So, yeah.
You didn't have to continue talking about the Celtics and Raptors. Third
clue for Film Friday. It is Oscar, Rhyme, Prison, Oscar. That is our third clue. Let me see. I don't think anybody's gotten it just yet. The Discord channel. It's not Dead Man Walking or Shawshank Redemption or Cool Hand Luke or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Not Dirty Dozen. Get Hard. Old School. Back-to-back Will Ferrell movies.
When we do NBA, I always think about like my poor girlfriend for the last, 7 years, 8 years, middle of NBA season, and we're pulling up games. And you're like, oh, it's the Clippers and Brooklyn Nets, you know what I mean? Which we'll be getting to here shortly, I would imagine. But like, you get a good woman when she's willing to watch the Clippers and Brooklyn Nets on a Tuesday night. You know what I mean?
She's not in the other room, like watching Housewives or on like the iPad or whatever.
Now she has to deal with the kids, but like, yeah, it's
she tolerates the Nets. I don't even tolerate. I don't even watch the Nets, and I have the quad box up. They rarely hit the quad box.
Yeah, the dog days of NBA.
We're not even there yet, Bobby.
We're not even there yet.
It's going to get uglier. It's going to get much, much uglier. Stay tuned for the last month of the season. Let's talk about it, though. Clippers, Nets, 214.5. That is not a very big total. Not terribly exciting. The Clippers are 6-point favorites. It is important. Jim Harden, he's still questionable, right? No, Kawhi's still questionable, correct?
They should call him Jim Harden. They should. That's a good. Why don't they call him Jim?
If you were Jim, or if you had your choice of Jim, James, or Jimmy, what would you go with?
Probably Jim.
That's the 3, right? Aren't those all the same? Isn't Jim, James, and Jimmy all the same?
Yeah.
Same origin story?
Yeah.
I think. That's today's poll question, by the way. If you could name yourself one of those 3, what would you go? Well, maybe it depends upon the friend, family, coworker.
It depends.
Kawhi, he's got that ankle. He's questionable. It is the back. He landed on a fan after a shot in the front row, so he turned his ankle. So we're not really sure. Stay tuned on that. Bogdanovich is still out. DJJ, of course, is still out. Derek Jones Jr., that is. Brooklyn, Michael Porter Jr. is available with his knee. Really, nothing has changed with the Nets. Monitoring, Claxton's minutes. I guess that's of note. Monitoring Thomas's minutes. I guess that's of note. We saw Zaire Williams jump in the starting lineup. I think that was last game. But I don't really like this game. If we lose Kawhi, of course, Harden would get a big boost and would become one of the best big spends on the slate, I presume. I'm trying to see if we have an if-then setup for that. I don't think we do. We have plenty of them, but just you can't hit every one of them, I suppose. But certainly we know if we lose Kawhi, Harden would get boosts here. But I just don't like the game environment here, Bobby. I just don't like this game on the whole. You tell me.
No, I'm with you. This is a catch-me-up game. If you did lose Kawhi, who's been playing really well, Harden would get a boost. I think Zubac would get some sort of boost. But this to me is really a catch-me-up game. Like it's only those 2 players and really no one on the Brooklyn Nets.
two of the floor slowest teams in basketball when it comes to pace. I didn't get a chance to listen to it, but I did see it looks like Pablo Torre dropped another pod on the Clippers. I think more stuff might have come out, or they've uncovered more things with the Clippers shenanigans, and I presume it was Kawhi related. But there you go. Stay tuned to that.
I can't wait to meet Broccoli Boy in person. I can't wait.
Is something happening in chat that I'm not aware of? Or you just got randomly saying that?
No, I'm randomly saying it, but yeah,
I'm sure he's He's delightful in person. I would imagine. I can't vouch. Is that Dunk? Is that Duncan going away?
Yeah, it's over with.
I heard
11 a.m.
That's been around since 11 a.m.
Yeah, it's been sitting here. When you have kids, Dean, you never get to do anything or finish anything. It's just,
it lost its luster, right? It's like we're talking about 6 hours later.
Yeah, we're talking about it's lost its luster for sure. But
yeah, checking out the Discord channel. It is not Training Day or The Last Castle or Walk the Line or Chicago or Magic Mike, a favorite around here. Not The Longest Yard. It's not School of Rock or Ray either, or The Polka King. I'm not sure if I know what The Polka King is. Was that a Jack Black movie? Am I thinking of something else?
Jack Black, new haircut, shaved his head.
Did he? I didn't see that. For a movie, I presume.
I have no idea what movies Jack Black's in these days.
Well, he's in the new Anaconda.
Seen it on Instagram. I'm like into right now, like all the Marvel trailers that are being leaked for Doomsday.
That's like sending out the Batman signal for TJ when you say that. TJ's like Marvel movies. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's going to be a big year. Avengers, is that what it is? Avengers is going to have a big year coming up.
Spider-Man New Day. Yeah, the Batman's supposed to be coming out. Is it maybe not the Batman? But
that's 2027. But this year is just nuts for movies. You got Avengers, you got Spider-Man, you got The Odyssey. Just a ton of kids movies that are coming out that are going to make $1 billion at the box office. Dune 3, a new Hunger Games, a Michael Jackson biopic. Like, it's going to be nuts.
I watched Dune
Spielberg movie
like 5 minutes in, but I obviously liked the movie. I was just tired. I've seen.
What was it, Bobby?
I wanted to watch Dune 2. I've been wanting to rewatch it. Oh. I really liked it, but I just fell asleep because I was exhausted. Kids.
I've never seen anything. It's funny. I fired up Dune 1 and fell asleep in the first 5 minutes. It was late at night, and I never went back. And that's not my kind of movie anyway. So
I thought 2 was better than 1 for sure.
Okay. I have no bets. I haven't seen it.
The ending of 2 is very good.
You're not going to spoil for the people, are you?
No.
We live in a society, Bobby. We can't just go around spoiling movies all willy-nilly.
That might be the wrong take too. Like TJ will probably come on and say Dune 1 was better. I have no idea, but I just like 2 better.
No, I think Dune 2 is significantly better. I found the first Dune so boring. Like, I'm just not a big Dune guy, but I found the first one so boring.
Hoosiers are saying we got to read the book first. Now you're giving me even more work on something I don't care about. I'm not interested. I don't think I'm interested in I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's spectacular and people like it for a reason, but I just I don't want to. It doesn't look interesting to me. So New York is taking on Phoenix, 228.5. That's the total. Phoenix is a 1.5 point dog, so it's tight, fairly high, reasonably high as far as who's in and out in this one by o'clock game. There are 2 games. Oh, you know what? I skipped OKC and Memphis. We'll go back to it in a second, but I didn't do that on purpose. That was my bad. Typically, I like to go in order. That would make sense. Josh Hart is still out.
Rough show. What game are we on?
Phoenix and New York.
You
gotta carry me, Bobby. I'm slacking.
All right.
You gotta carry me. I'm struggling. I don't know why. It's not a good show for me.
Usually the other way around, so we'll give it a pass.
We still got a chance to turn it all around, in the first half. Drop that gif. So Gerson Yabusele is officially questionable with his quad. That doesn't really matter. We are anticipating McBride to continue to start. Brunson, McBride, Bridges, OG, Cat, Gillespie, Booker, Brooks, Royce O'Neal, and Mark Williams on the other side. Phoenix is really healthy. That is the tricky part with them. Minutes are getting squeezed. They know Jalen Green. We've not seen him basically the entire season. He's played just I want to say 3 games all year long. Jordan Goodwin also available with his jaw. Yeah, New York, Phoenix, pretty tight rotations. Miles Bridges, I guess, is an interesting cheapie. Just the trouble is the cheapies he's competing with are, I think, better. We'll talk about the Thunder in a second. You can just look to OKC. How you feeling about New York and Phoenix?
Yeah, I think Cat's in a really good matchup versus Mark Williams. Also, you have Mitch Robb kind of moved to the bench last game. So 8,100 for Cat. Like, I think there's significant ceiling there. I like Cat a good bit. 86 for Brunson. I think it's a fine spot for Brunson as well. Those would be my two favorite. And obviously, they're the main usage players on the Knicks. Booker on the other side, he's fine at 8,400. Probably be around the field if I had 150 going. Dylan Brooks, 5,900. Projections seem to like him. I usually hate Dylan Brooks, but I think he's someone you can consider, and that's kind of mainly it of guys that interest me in this game.
We got 20% going to Brunson, Bobby, 20% on DK, which I thought was a little bit higher than I anticipated. Cat at 15%. Booker, most popular player for Phoenix. Interesting spend up on the other side. 15% for Booker. McBride at 12%. I should note, well, actually, this is a recent update. This is as of 10 minutes ago or so. So ownership should be good. It'll be fine-tuned as we close in on lock. Robinson at 10%. He's a center and center only. His ceiling is only so high. He's got to kind of get there with boards and blocks and putbacks and dunks. But yeah, I don't like this game a heck of a lot. I'm a little bit concerned that Booker or one of these New York stars can burn me as being the best big spend on the slate, but I'm probably not going to end up on either. That's because I don't make a ton of lineups. I'm mostly focusing on single entry stuff, and then I'll kind of branch out from there. Anything else of notes? Don't mind Mark Williams a little bit. 24 minutes. There's a chance he gets more than that, I think. Pretty good fantasy point minute player. Historically, don't like the matchup against New York. New York does a pretty good job of clogging the middle, especially when Mitch Robb gets to play. Good rebounding team as well. But I don't really have much else to say about this game, Bobby, unless you want to move on. We can.
I would imagine Brooks is popping for me because someone mentioned in chat that he's just chucking uncontrollably. So at 5,900, I do think he is. He should be in your player pool, but mainly Brunson and Towns for me in this game.
Yeah, he's shooting more this year than he has been in previous seasons. However, they've gotten healthier. Like Grayson Allen is back. Gillespie is risen up. So there's a lot of options now, more options than there typically has been in your typical Phoenix game this year. So probably shooting a little bit less in this game. Fourth clue for the people for Film Friday is Ireland. Rhyme, prison, Oscar, Ireland. That is our fourth clue. Go ahead and get that Discord channel and get yourself a week free of RG Premium. That is RotoGrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. Be the first person to tell me what film I'm talking about. One guess per clue drop. Okay, this is the game, Bobby. This is the game. It's the Thunder. The Thunder at the Grizz, 229.5. That's the total. OKC, despite missing some of their key players, they're still 5-point favorites because Memphis is not that great. They're also without John Morant. Let's start with the Memphis side. I guess that will be easier as far as who's in and who's out, who we're monitoring. We are monitoring Cedric Howard. Cedric Howard's got that ankle. He's questionable. Edie, we have not seen him in a while. He's still out. John Konchar's got a thumb, so he's doubtful. We're assuming he's out. Vince Williams probably comes back. He came back, and then he sat the back half of a back-to-back, and now they have him questionable. I'm guessing he's probably in, but stay tuned. Nothing official on that just yet. Did mention John Morant. No availability, not in, because he's got a calf, and apparently he's on the trade block as well. Really curious to see what he would fetch. The Thunder, no SGA, no Hartenstein, no Holmgren. Kason Wallace is out. Jalen Williams, the not as good Jalen Williams, is also out with his heel. And kind of surprising that Alex Caruso is questionable. Does he come back to this? I don't know, but we haven't seen him in a while. And do they bring him back to this, or do we get knocked down to 10? We currently have 11 projected for the Thunder, Bobby. And if you look at the ownership stuff, again, the Thunder, they're just going to be super, super popular for good reasons. AJ Mitchell, going to be the most popular player, I think, on the slate. 5K on DK is just too cheap. His FanDuel asking price is, just as appealing. He's the one that, like, I would just lock, and you can kind of dance around it as far as what other Thunder players you're playing. But for me, I think he's going to be in every lineup I play. You tell me, how are you handling the Thunder and how popular they're going to be?
Yeah, I think with the main guys out, Jalen Williams is obviously going to lead the charge in terms of usage at 7,500. In terms of exposure, he'd fall behind AJ Mitchell, who, like you said, I think is a complete lock button at 5K. Brandon Carlson, who's going to split the minutes with Kenrich at the center position, I think is super strong at 3,500. Aaron Wiggins at 4,200 is someone I'm probably going to be below the field on, but he also should assume more of a usage role. Dort is going to be in the mix. I think I'd rather go down to Isaiah Joe for the 500 less. Still going to would be playing some Dort, but Memphis is a 3-point funnel, and I think Joe, if he's getting the minutes, he'll probably be able to do something with it because he's a better 3-point shooter, in my opinion. Kenrich Williams is the interesting one. Like, if people are going to play Carlson, like, maybe that's the flip in tournaments, like getting to Kenrich at 3,400. I think Kenrich is sneaky in the, like, out of this OKC chalk. Like, he's the one I think has more upside than the market's currently giving him credit for. So he would be someone I'd be trying to come in overweight on as well. And the run back options, if you want to do that, Jaren Jackson, 7,600. You figure this game goes back and forth or stays relatively close, he's going to have a lot to do with it, along with Cam Spencer at 6,500. So I think those two guys I'd be looking to get overweight on. That's mainly it for me on the Memphis side. But Ajay Mitchell seems like he's just a complete log for 5K and OKC. And you're getting to like 2 or 3 of these OKC guys in every lineup.
Are you thinking of Jay Ajay, the old running back?
Ajay, yeah, I am.
AJ Mitchell.
AJ.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think I'm playing him in every single lineup. AJ Mitchell. He seems like the most secure play. You brought up something interesting, Bobby, because I was thinking about, rules and things of that sort. And I think a good rule is playing one of Carlson and Williams. They both could probably get there just because they're so cheap, but can both give you like ceiling games. I guess maybe, but a little less likely. I just did the court IQ, and obviously there's been very few scenarios, if any, this season where all these players have been out for the Thunder, but they've only played 11 minutes together, right? And yeah. Kenrich can play a small ball center. And they also, they have Dieng as well as another guy that can play center. Jalen Williams can also play center. I'm not sure how many minutes Carlson could play. How much they're willing to play him. Now, he's a good fantasy point minute player, and we're giving him 25 minutes, and he projects really well. But it's also possible he plays like 21 minutes, right? And Kenrich plays 25, 26. So I think I'm going to put that rule in just kind of when I'm like building stuff and seeing how lineups look. I think I'm only going to play one of those two at most, Carlson and Kenrich. How good is Jalen Williams for you? Like, how much of a lock button is he? He's the most expensive, so I guess theoretically he's the hardest to pay off his salary, but also, the usage is going to be flying, and it's a small sample of what we've seen so far, 45, 49%. I can't remember the number now off the top of my head, but well into the 40s. That's, he looks awesome math wise. Is he somebody you're going to be over on? Jalen Williams? Currently 45% is their ownership.
I'd be over the 45, but I think he's going to come in higher than that. So I'd probably be like right at, if he comes in, I don't know, 50% plus in my lineups. I think that's fine. I would be over the 45, but I just think he's going to be higher than what we have him at 45. So yeah, if he's 50% owned, I think 50% is perfectly fine. Just taking the field on him.
I wanted to show some love to FanDuel, see if there's anything different over there for the Thunder. You're probably, you're probably getting the 4 players on OKC. That's the most you can get on FanDuel. I do want to run a new set of optimals with our new projections and make sure I get the right number. But I think it's still going to be 4 Thunder pieces. Doesn't mean you have to play 4, but it's, I don't want to say it, in cash games. If nothing else, you're playing 4 in cash, most likely. Mitchell, most popular, 68% on FanDuel. Like, good Lord. Jalen Williams, 52%. Aaron Wiggins, 50%. And then it drops off. Carlson, 30. Kenrich, 21. Joe's an interesting flyer. He's got to score, but he certainly can score 20+ in the bucket.
What about Joe and Dort? Like, what are your thoughts on Joe and Dort? Joe, I think, is going to be more owned now. Earlier in the day, I thought he was going to be less owned.
My thought is
play with the matchup, but
I feel like Dort just kind of is Dort, and he sort of stays the same. That's I don't know how much of a bump he gets. He's the classic 3 and D, right? And he can get you some stocks. He's got to make his open threes. He's not really popping for me. He's fine. I think he should be in the mix. Joe's got a bigger upside, but he's definitely going to make his threes. If he's not making his threes, the floor is rough. But he also probably closes, especially if we lose Caruso. And I don't know if Caruso's playing, but it seems kind of weird. Everybody's sitting out and they're going to bring Caruso back. Like, maybe they do. I don't know. And it doesn't seem like it matters so much, but I think it does, because that would really solidify these guards, especially. And they would be down to 10. And not to say the game's going to blow out, but under any scenario, you got to run half these guys out there, and it probably wouldn't be, if it's getting goofy for whatever reason, and it's probably not. It's probably going to be a close game. You still got to run some, legitimate guys that are in play out there at the closing bell. But yeah, I don't really love Dort. I think Joe's got a bigger upside amongst the two. Am I saying you can't play him? No, of course not. He's got to be in the mix if you're running a bunch of lineups. But if I'm power ranking, Dort is probably like my 6th favorite Thunder. That sounds like that's kind of where you're at too.
Yeah, I never know really what to do with him. I'd probably prefer Joe. I thought Dort was going to be higher owned for some reason earlier. Broccoli Boy, the answer to your question for NFL is yes.
And Coward, I'm a little bit concerned about, the minutes aren't probably enough. Triple J, my 2 favorite run backs on Memphis, if you're going to run it back, are Triple J or Jock Landale. The absence of Hartenstein, the absence of Chet makes the inside more vulnerable there for the Thunder. Jock can also, step out and bang a 3 too. And he's a big boy too. He can grab some boards. Don't mind all of them as well. But I think Jock and Triple J are my favorite run backs if I'm going to force a run back. I see TJ has dropped our 5th clue. All 5 clues. I have bonus clues if necessary, but all 5 clues are scrolling for Film Friday. Did we or did we not get a winner? I don't think I see one. 5th clue, Bobby, is Ring, Rhyme, Prison, Oscar, Ireland, Ring. TJ said he's never heard of this movie, and that's kind of shocking to me. But he also said, you know what? On second thought, I gave it a Google, and he's felt a little shame. He's like, I don't know how it just got lost in the sauce on TJ. Maybe you just kind of forgot about it. Have you just never heard of it, TJ? Are we getting a flashback now, or it's not that old? I'll say that it's not that old. So within the last 15 years. All right. And I think Bobby's heard of it too. Pretty sure Bobby's heard of it.
I don't even know what we're talking about. My kids are screaming in the background. I'm just hoping people can't hear them.
All right. So you're not listening, and TJ's multitasking and doing something else. So that's fine. No worries. It is not the Minecraft movie, speaking of Jack Black, or Father Stu, or any of the Lord of the Rings, or The Hobbit. But maybe you'll have to drop a bonus clue for the people. We never do that, but one might be necessary. Okay. Okay. We'll give it a couple more. You know what? Yeah. We'll go with the bonus clue, and we'll give the people belt, rhyme, prison, Oscar, Ireland, ring, bonus clue, belt. There we go. I think we only have one more game, so we're well on time, as far as yielding to crunch time in about 10, 15 minutes or so. TJ is going to jump on camera, as well as Kevin Roth. Notorious also going to be joining the show, taking you guys home for crunch time. Has there been any news? I feel like it's been really quiet out there. Tristan Da Silva ruled out for Orlando.
Right? We like that it's been quiet when we're on the show, and
It's almost too quiet, though. It's ominous. It's ominous. And we actually need news. Well, at some point, maybe some people want the news to come in later.
I thought the Ingram news was pretty important.
Which one?
The Ingram news.
Yes. Yeah, that definitely was important.
It's nice when the NBA gets news out early, and they should try it more often.
I like how we're giving them credit for dropping the news an hour and a half before the game starts. But like that's where we're at. You know, that's how sad it is. Sometimes they wait to half an hour. There was a time where Philadelphia would give us the starting lineup like 2 minutes before lock, before the NBA stepped in and said, "Yeah, you gotta drop these starting lineups sooner." They would never tell us about Embiid until basically like 6:58.
Why can't they just do it like NHL? Like really, just do it like NHL. It makes morning skate. Like you know who's playing pretty much. Very easy.
I think. Well, there's legitimately some guys that are game time. Legitimately, some are game time, but some they kind of know. Or NFL. NFL is hour and a half, actives and actives, right?
Yeah, they could do hour and a half and make sense. Hour and a half's great.
The NFL knows people are gambling. They know they have to appease the gamblers. They're aware of this. The NBA
is embracing gambling. Like they were at the forefront of embracing gambling, and they can't get this simple thing right. And it's part of the reason they're having all the issues that they're having, in my opinion.
Embracing gambling by taking gambling money. They're taking the money.
Adam Silver was like the first one.
But they're saying, give me the money. I want all the endorsements. I want to throw out all the FanDuel, all the DK, all the underdog commercials. But do I want to appease them? Sort of, but not really. And yeah, TJ is always making the other point, and you never know when the game's going to start. Is it going to be 7:07, 7:10? It says 7 o'clock. It's never 7 o'clock. I don't know why they never get that right. Just figure out the time the game starts. Is that so difficult? And
it just makes me just dislike NBA more and more. And they have such a great product, and the product's like dying, it seems like.
Well, I don't know if the product's dying, but I do. That's definitely something.
The numbers say the product's dying.
I don't know about that either. I don't know about that. I just saw something that I can't remember which game it was, or maybe I think the Christmas numbers were awesome, and maybe that had something to do with the fact that football games are terrible. But I imagine the football games still beat them. But year over year, the Christmas numbers are actually good for the NBA. Did we get a winner in the Discord channel? A lot of people are on the right path, and nobody can quite get there. This is hilarious.
Your clues are too hard, Dean. Clues are too hard. That's what it is. Like, you got to go easy. I mean, this is just like...
You got to spoon feed it. Yeah, you don't have to earn it. You shouldn't earn premium. Just whoever's got the fastest finger. Atlanta and Denver.
Those are way up. I remember reading an article that the numbers were down like a month ago. So
I saw something today, or is it yesterday maybe, that the Christmas numbers apparently were really, really good. And for a lot of people, that's kind of when the NBA season starts, is Christmas, Not for us, obviously, but for they don't really start paying attention until Christmas.
Dean is cagey, Broccoli Boy. He is cagey today.
All of a sudden, you and Broccoli are best friends. He says one thing you like, and now he's the greatest.
Cagey, Dean. You're a little cagey.
You and him both love John Stamos, and now all of a sudden, you guys have created a bond. Okay, let's talk about Atlanta and Denver. 232.5. That is the total. Denver is a 1.5 point dog. Midday downgrade, Bobby. Speaking of cagey, that's cagey. When you're getting a midday downgrade for illness, right? Jamal Murray had the fish. They gave him an ankle and an illness. They gave him both. He's got a combination. So his ankle's not 100%, and neither is his tummy. Jonas Valanciunas is still out, obviously. The Joker, no Cam Johnson. Aaron Gordon officially probable with his hammy. Bruce Brown also probable with his knee. Christian Brown, ankle, probable. Really cheap on FanDuel, Christian Brown. He would become an awesome play if they lose Murray. I don't know how those minutes can get, but he is super cheap on FanDuel specifically. When it comes to Atlanta, Kristaps Porzingis, it's his Achilles. It's not his illness. Achilles, questionable for the Zinger. CJ McCollum is not with the team just yet. Neither is Corey Kispert. Nothing else has changed. Oh, I did note this, Bobby. I was digging in. The Joker, he missed like 5.5 games, right? I rounded up to 6 games. I included the Miami game where he got hurt. Denver's defense in that time is basically the worst in basketball. It's the worst defensive efficiency and the second lowest rebounding percentage. So they've been horrific defensively. And Jalen Johnson has been spectacular. I know he had not a great game by his standards most recently, but this is his team now. He's the captain now, very, very clearly in Atlanta. One of my favorite big spends on the slate, Bobby, is Jalen Johnson. If we lose Jamal Murray, that seems very, very meaningful. I did want to pull up and see if we have Pickett, but like Peyton Watson. Don't look now, or you can look. You can look.
No, I can look. He killed me the other night. Absolutely killed me. My winning dwindled.
Sorry, he's been great. He's been really, really good.
Yeah, I not a fan of Peyton Watson this last couple days.
If he does, if we lose Murray, we have Watson projected for 36 minutes and almost 40 median fantasy points. So like the price is kind of a sticker shock. It's like, well, how much is Watson? He's in the 7Ks now, but he's been pretty spectacular. Scoring a ton. I like Watson as possibly just kind of like the tricky part, right? This is 9 o'clock, Bobby. It's a 9 o'clock game. So what are we doing? What's the plan? What are we waiting for? If news doesn't come out for Murray until 8 o'clock, 8:30, 7:30, we're not sure when that's going to drop because we don't get our way as far as news. How are you handling the Murray situation?
I like being over on Murray just so I can get to Pickett or Watson. I think I'd be more interested in getting to Pickett. I think he's just easier. It's an easier swap, but I think Watson's definitely in the mix. Tim Hardaway Jr. at 4,600 is someone that I think you can consider as well for the price tag, small forward, power forward eligibility. It's mainly Denver. Like, anything else from Denver? Like, if Murray's out, he's obviously gonna make more guys available. But they just got they got Gordon back, right? Like they got some guy back, so. I don't know if it's going to be the other night where like Zeke Najee was in play and Bruce Brown and all these guys when they pretty much didn't have anyone, but definitely Pickett and Watson and just taking the overweight approach on Murray. So you have the swap eligibility. Tim Hardaway Jr. I'd also throw in the mix. I'm not as excited about Jalen Johnson as you are at 10-8 for what it's worth.
The tricky thing with you can also use him as if you have like 2 or 3 guys, depending on how Denver news goes. But if your worst case scenario is stuck with Jalen Johnson, the Gordon thing is how many minutes can he play? Since coming back from injury, he's played 21 and 23. I don't know how many more he can play. If he can play 30, sure. I don't know. It's of note. I have no idea, but I lean Murray's out if he's got 2 things, especially one being an illness. Don't know. But I kind of lean he's not going to play. If he plays and he's perfectly fine and plays up to his normal standards without all these guys out, he's awesome. He's a great play. I just don't know if I'm going to build lineups with that thought process. We're giving Gordon 25 minutes for what it's worth. Brown 31. Fine on DK. Really strong play on FanDuel, in my opinion. We've seen Najee play pretty well at center. What's his name? It's just kind of outclassed. Holmes, just not happening. He's been getting abused on the inside.
Najee looked really good the other night.
Najee? Yeah. He had like his best game of his life probably when they took on Philadelphia. If you're watching that game, the game that went to overtime.
Yeah, that was the game.
Yeah,
I did need overtime. I needed Maxey to bank the 3 there at the end.
Do you tell your girlfriend like what you're rooting? Is she aware like, oh, we're rooting for this guy, we're not rooting for that? Is she into all that? Just kind of, it's just sort of on.
Not really. It's just on.
Yeah.
Then you have to explain, I need this guy on this team and this guy on that team.
It's like, why are you rooting? I don't understand.
And you have to explain to your family, like, I don't really care about the games, but like, oh, who do you like on this 3-game slate? And I'm like, I have all this team, and yeah,
it's very confusing.
And there's just always this one person who's like rooting against you for their season-long team.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Don't be that guy. It's always like my little cousin, and I just want to be like
worst guy in the room. No, There's no worst guy in the room.
He really cares so much about his $10 prop bet or his season long. You know what I mean?
And that's the first guy that goes on Twitter and says it's rigged, and they're fixing the game.
Maybe he would do that actually, but he's pretty knowledgeable. He just doesn't play DFS.
When I was a defense off of the Millie Maker earlier in the season, where it was just like a 1v1 swap and one I directly considered, I was talking in a group chat and some guy was like, "Oh, I could have told you my Vikings would be terrible today. Never bet on my Vikings." And it's like, man, not the time. Just not the time for this one.
Yeah.
$1 million to $250. Don't talk to me about this right now.
I thought you were talking about our group chat, TJ, and I'm not, you know me, I'm not gonna, I won't rehash it, but
You guys have a group chat? I'm not in it.
oh boy. Well, you know, some people have secret chats, some people are
eviscerated in that group chat.
great. Why don't you get
we were active in our secret chat last night. We were planning lineups and getting things ready for NFL playoffs in our secret chat.
Why can't I be in the secret chat? Who's in the secret? I thought me, Tim, and Dean had a secret chat.
To be fair, it's just the Pick Six chat. So like that's what it is. It's the Pick Six crew. There's nobody else.
I can't believe Bobby just sent this political tweet on Twitter. That's what you probably.
There's no politics discussed.
Yeah.
Strictly movies and football with a little bit of baseball.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever been.
Rebar in it?
Say it again.
Is Rebar in it?
Yeah, it's the Pick Six crew. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Rebar is probably a good guy to be in a chat with for NFL, I will say.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's a good resource.
He's a good resource.
Very sharp guy. All right, so I'm not really sure what to do with Denver, Bobby. I think Murray's not going to play, but I don't know this, so I'm kind of leaving. I want to leave a let on for Watson, is what I'm getting at, and maybe I'll run. It's a run back for Jalen Johnson. So just
I think it's better. Pickett's just better because he's cheaper, right?
I don't mind that either. Yeah, I'm okay with that. But here's the thing: Watson doesn't need Murray to be out. He benefits of Murray out. He doesn't need it. I think Pickett needs Murray to be out. So I don't. You don't want to get stuck with Pickett and Murray plays.
I get what you're saying.
Is that fair?
They're probably going to be in the util anyways, so you can probably just go to Watson, right?
Adine in chat is bringing up a good point that if you want to like just get some exposure to both Murray and Watson and Pickett, if Murray's in, you can always just switch your Pickett to Miles McBride, who projects fine for that price. And then if Murray's out, you can always just swap to Brunson, who, you know,
or Booker.
Salary. He hasn't been playing great, but that's not like a direct. You got to leave $6,000 on the table now.
If Murray's out, there's going to be more Denver players that pop.
Well, but a lot of it depends upon when he's ruled out, if he's ruled out, and how long are you going to be patient? Because is he ruled out before the Thunder is kind of a big question, right? And that's an 8:00 game, because that's maybe the pieces he's going to be fighting with. Or Pickett's going to have to fight with Wiggins and Kenrich Williams and Isaiah Joe and those kind of guys. We do have crunch time knocking on the door. I do want to tell people how we got to today's Film Friday, which, by the way, shout out Blink-182 Rue, one of our consistent winners. Took it down in 5, I guess 6 technically. We had a bonus clue. I did say I'd make it a little bit tougher. Clue number 1 was rhyme. The two main characters in this movie, their names rhyme. It is Mickey and Dickie. Clue number 2 is prison. Prison was in reference to, well, the main character is actually based on a real life person that Bobby probably heard of, because maybe Bobby might have ran into him at some point while going to Duncan. Mickey Ward. You know Mickey Ward, Bobby? You heard
I've
of Mickey Ward?
a few times, yeah.
There you go.
I know his buddy.
I figured you've heard of Mickey Ward.
Instagram, Bean Shooter on Instagram.
So prison was in reference to his brother, who was like his trainer. He took his brother Dickie was in prison, and then also like Prison Ward. Prison Ward's a thing, so it's kind of a double clue. Clue number 3 was Oscar. This movie was nominated for 7 Oscars. It won 2 Oscars, both for Best Supporting Actress, Melissa Leo and Christian Bale. Clue number 4, Ireland.
Oh, I was actually an extra in this movie.
What? it just hit you?
Yeah,
all right.
Like really
accidentally, or it was planned? Like
my mom's friend was like doing something with she was like she like does the extras, and she like invited me and my brother to go over there. And
where can we find you? What scene?
I don't even think I was in there. I was just like, this is retarded, and this is not fun, and left.
They cut you out, possibly, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. The jail scene. When I like this, yeah.
Ireland was a double clue. Clue number 4. It was a reference to his nickname, of course. It was Irish Mickey Ward, right? Is that what they called him? And then the movie's called the Fighter and the Fighting Irish. You know, the Fighting Irish, the team that like got snubbed, that should not have been in the playoffs, although the team that got in because they didn't get in.
Christian Bale was so good playing Dickie, by the way. He was unbelievable.
He was spectacular. He was
unbelievable.
He won an Oscar. Yeah, he won the Oscar. And clue number 5 was ring. You fight in a boxing ring. And they gave you belt as clue number 6 because you fight for a purse, a championship belt as well. All right. Bobby, who's breaking the slate before we bring in crunch time?
Who's breaking the slate? Hold on a sec. I think the interesting large field GBP play is Kenrich Williams over Brandon Carlson. But I don't want to pick him as like my play to break the slate. I think it's an interesting pivot. If I had to pick one guy, I'm going to go Jordan Poole.
Oh, there you go. Should note Trey Murphy officially in. I'm not saying you can't play Jordan Poole. We'll just note that Trey Murphy officially in there for the Pels. No news on Kawhi. His update is no update. Game time decision. Let's do it. Let's see once he transition to crunch time. We got TJ jumping on as well as Kevin Roth and Notorious. Crunch time right now. So, Kevin, how many people tweeted you last night about the condensation in Chicago?
Quite a few. Yeah, I got 10, 12. I got a lot. Yeah.
Why didn't you know this? You're here.
Yeah.
You got to be better, Roth.
That was interesting. Like, it wasn't even that it was raining. It was just, I think they put the court over the ice, right? That's what they do in some of these places. And then it works its way up from the ground. Not great. Not great.
My idea, they should have just played hockey.
Yeah, that'd have been good.
Just have the Bulls and the Heat play hockey, right? Yeah. That'd be fun.
It still count. If you win, you win. You know, you get the win. It'd be highly entertaining.
Who would have been the best hockey player amongst those two? I have no idea, but it would have been entertaining, if nothing else. But I certainly would have tuned in and watched that. But yeah, wiping out. And it was such a small slate too that it was so important. Wiping out one of 4 games. 25% of the slate went bye-bye. All right. Speaking of going bye-bye, myself and Bobby and his fabulous mustache. And are you wearing sunglasses, Bobby? Did sunglasses just all of a sudden appear on your face?
I thought I'd pull the old Bobby Valentine, before the show ended.
Well, you didn't get ejected. All right. TJ, show that gif if the people are not aware of Bobby Valentine getting ejected and comes back with a fake mustache. And sunglasses too, maybe? I'm not sure. Maybe sunglasses.
Glasses on. This is what I had. That's what I had.
It's spectacular. All right. We're going to get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Good luck for the football, Bobby. Good luck to all your teams. Good luck to your Jags there. Noto. All right. It is crunch time. It's Roth. It's TJ. It's Notorious. Roth, it's all yours.
It is indeed. And it starts right now. Welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. Crunch time. 2 of the sharpest minds in the industry. TJ in the house. What's up, man?
Not much. It's been a busy day, busy next few days with some NFL, and we got Steve gone, and so I'm being Steve for the next little bit. Plus, I'm going to Toronto next week, so busy all the time, but happy to be here talking about some NBA.
You got like some movie things happening in Toronto, interviewing superstars?
TV, yeah. I'm going to do a little something for the show Percy Jackson on Disney+.
Oh, very nice. I am a fan of the old Percy Jackson back in the day. Definitely read those. I got Noto in the house as well. Beanie Noto. I've never seen Beanie Noto. What's up, man?
What's up? Pretty sure I had this on the last show we did, but that's cool.
I don't think.
Yeah, my son loves Percy Jackson, so he'll be happy. I'll have to tell him about the thing you're doing. And yeah, it's a good Friday. It's always a good day when I can tell people to pay Jordan Poole. So yeah, ready to get back into it. And Jags tomorrow. No, Sunday. Should be a fun weekend.
Yeah, looking forward to it. TJ, is what Noto is wearing, what would you call that in your neck of the woods?
A toque.
Okay,
toque.
I thought it was a toboggan. No,
that's a sled.
That's a sled. Come on.
But in some places, a toboggan is a hat. Somebody back me up in the chat. I thought it was Canada.
No, I don't think that's true. Toboggan's a sled.
I'm going to Google it. A toboggan. Yeah, I think it's a sled.
Oh.
Some people, I'm pretty sure, call it a hat. I'm going to Google it. But first, see, Derek says my wife calls it a toboggan. There you go.
It can be both. Yeah.
Hey, let's dive into the slate. That's what we're here to talk about. Not toboggans, sleds, and toques. Is that toque? Is that the word?
Toque. Yeah.
Toque. Yeah. We're here to talk hoops. That's what we do. Noto, how you feeling about the slate, man?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. I think The big injury news, obviously, Jamal Murray. We're probably not going to get that until later. We did just get Kawhi Leonard's going to play, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, keeping some spots open to take advantage of the Denver situation certainly makes some sense to me. With Jokic out, Murray midday downgrade, Spencer Jones out. So nice matchup against Atlanta. So I'd love to play some Pickett, some Peyton Watson, maybe a couple other guys if Murray ends up being out.
Okay, very good. Well, let's dive into the slate. TJ, I'm going to let you go first at point guard. But first, where was this question? Do they have dog sleds in Canada was the question. My question is, do you like take snowmobiles places legitimately because you can't drive because there's so much snow? Is that a thing that happens to you?
Not the latter part of that. Like, our infrastructure is set up pretty well. Like, if it snows a ton, there's snow removers every morning in the cities. People use snowmobiles at their cabin at the lake. Their cabin at the lake in the winter time, where it's, they'll be on the boat in the summer and then they'll take the snowmobiles out in the winter.
Okay. I had to check because I was just imagining a wild world where people are like, you're just taking the snowmobile to work.
It's so funny how just like the misconceptions pop in. I went to a basketball camp in France when I was a kid, when I was 13. And I remember telling the other campers, the other basketball players I was trying to make friends with, I rode sled dogs to school. We live in an igloo, and they just fully bought in.
I get a lot of that from Utah as well. With the multiple wives, people think we have horns,
I mean, half of it's true. All right. Hey, let's talk about the site. TJ, let's dive into it. Point guard, DraftKings, what do we got?
Point guard on DraftKings. We got a lock button on AJ Mitchell. Nice and easy. No Shai Gilgeous-Alexander tonight. And so we are just going to be playing an absolute ton of OKC Thunder players. I think when I looked earlier in the day, there were 5 Thunder players in the optimal lineup. I'm not sure if that's still the case now that we have had some more stuff open up, but we're going to OKC today, plain and simple, no getting around it. The next place is something Noto already touched on with Denver, and that is Jamal Murray is currently listed as questionable. Now, if he is in, he's one of the best plays on the slate. If he's out, Jalen Pickett is one of the best plays on the slate. And so the tough part about that is this game starts at 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's the last game on the slate. There's one other game that starts at the same time, but not necessarily one that we're going to be aggressively targeting. And so that's a spot where you probably want to leave some spots open, because from a cash perspective, it's especially important where Jamal Murray is a cash game play if he plays. If he's out, Jalen Pickett is one you're going to want. And if he's out, Peyton Watson's probably somebody you're going to want. But you're not going to have a ton of flexibility unless we get that news before the Thunder game starts. My plan right now is to play just Jamal Murray in cash in my cash lineup. It's probably not going to have Pickett. I might have Watson too, because he's fine even if Jamal Murray plays. And then if Murray's out, I'll probably just switch it to a Brunson. You could go all the way down to a Pickett, but as great of a point per dollar play he is, you're still better off going to a Brunson or a Booker or somebody like that, as opposed to just leaving all that salary on the table.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else you want to note here? I mean, obviously that's the big situation, but is that also kind of who you're just playing in those spots?
They are going to be my 2 highest owned point guards. After that, I am getting to Bub Carrington. He's a really strong value. That's basically one straight up where you can just roll him out in a cash game as well, because even if Murray's out, Carrington could just outscore Pickett. And so I think that's where a lot of people are going to go. That news is that game is earlier though, so it's going to be locked. Emmanuel Quickly looks a little bit better now that Brandon Ingram has been ruled out. I'll be underweight to Emmanuel Quickly, but I am still getting to him. And then the only other ones in my pool, James Harden, Jordan Poole, Brunson, and Tyrese Maxey. But I actually think I'm just going to take Brunson out entirely, because I'll probably have to play a bunch of him if Jamal Murray gets ruled out.
Yeah. Okay. Noto, your thoughts at point?
My thoughts. First, Mike Smokes said he would move to Utah if he could get 3 wives. One's plenty,
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's more than enough.
You get 1 wife. I don't know if anyone has ever seen New Girl, but that's one of my favorite shows, and just felt like the perfect opportunity to drop that quote from it.
That's a great show. Yeah, point guard, like TJ said, like we would like to play Jamal Murray if he ends up being active. And then if he's out, it's kind of hard because you could just pivot to Jalen Johnson, but then you would miss out on the Peyton Watson and Jalen Pickett stuff. So it's a tough decision point. I do want to be able to take advantage of it if he's out, but yeah, kind of got to think through all the different roster moves that you'd have to make. AJ Mitchell lock button, like TJ said, no SGA, no Holmgren, no Hardenstein, no Wallace, and they still have an implied team total of 117 points. So Mitchell is gonna absolutely smash here. I like the Washington guys quite a bit, Bub Carrington and Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson actually sees massive usage and fantasy point per minute boost without McCollum and Corey Kispert on the floor. So I like those guys for value, but again, Pickett's going to be like the top value play if Murray ends up being out. Probably not going to be locking in too many of the early guys. I do think Toronto is more interesting now that we got Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes both out. So if you want to play quickly, he does project very well. But again, you're kind of handicapping yourself for later on in the slate. And that's pretty much it for me. I do think, Brunson and Booker, some of these guys can be viable if you're kind of waiting for that news and then have to pivot to them in the late games.
Yeah. All right, let's go to shooting guard.
The other thing on specifically Jalen Pickett, if you do want to get some of exposure to him, and he would not be a good play if Jamal Murray plays, there is still the swappability where you can go from Pickett to Miles McBride in that same game, and he projects fine. Or not in that same game, but that same time window.
Gotcha. Okay, very good. Noto, your thoughts at shooting guard?
Yeah, not nearly as strong of a position. You can punt with Isaiah Joe. Think he's going to have a bigger role tonight. You can play Trey Johnson, like I mentioned. The results haven't been great if you look at his game log, but the on-off numbers without McCollum and Kispert really stand out to me. So I'm going to play some of him in tournaments. If you want to spend up on Trey Murphy, I get it. He hasn't shown like a huge ceiling with Zion active, but the last two games, 56 and 51 fantasy points. You can't ask for a better matchup than the Wizards. And then Booker, and he's had 150-plus fantasy point outing since the beginning of November. So the ceiling hasn't really been there. Certainly a fine floor at 8,400, but I don't know. He's not a guy that I play a ton of in tournaments. Kind of interested to see what TJ is doing with multiple lineups because I'm having a tough time with shooting guard with one lineup.
TJ?
Oh, and I accidentally just deleted my last set of lineups because I was building a new one. So I can tell you exactly what I'm doing in a couple seconds when this new set of lineups come in. But in the meantime, my favorite one is going to be Isaiah Joe, $3,500. Like, just not how bad can he really be with the team that's only going to have 10 guys and he's only 3,500. So he's probably my favorite option here. Trey Murphy coming in at number 2. I really like VJ Edgecombe for large field tournaments. This is a guy that's just been absolutely cooking lately, and his price isn't going up, and nobody wants to play him. And so I think VJ Edgecombe is really interesting for large field tournaments. Trey Johnson, don't mind him. Jordan Poole. And that's kind of it in terms of guys I like. I might go to somebody like a Cam Spencer on Memphis with John Morant out, but they're kind of getting everybody else looks like they're going to be healthy for this one. So I don't know if he's going to have a huge ceiling, but there's guys like Cam Spencer, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Desmond Bane, Anthony Black that I have about 5% of. And then I do actually have 5% of each of the Raptors punts, Jacoby Walter and Grady Dick as well, just because it is a really weak position.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to small forward, TJ.
Small forward, this is a very Thunder-centric position. We have Jalen Williams available here, who is like the one starter, I think, left for maybe Dort, I guess, too. But Jalen Williams, the one scorer left for OKC that is standing. He's also going to be the first one, if this turns into a blowout either way, that is going to be subbed off the court. But like, he's probably going to have a 40% usage rate today. So just play Jalen Williams. Aaron Wiggins is another guy that's looking like a cash game play, somebody that I probably want to be underweight to the field on today, just because 50% Aaron Wiggins just seems wrong. I think there are other guys that we can get to outscore him. I'm still playing him, but I'm going to be underweight. I'll play like 30 to 35% Wiggins instead of 45 to 50. Peyton Watson is a guy that I think is super interesting for tournaments because he projects for almost 40 fantasy points if Jamal Murray happens to be out for this one, and he's already been cooking. And so Watson's somebody that I'm very interested in because he's totally fine if Murray plays. And then if he's out, he becomes one of the better plays on the slate. And then RJ Barrett projects really well now, probably a cash game play as well, with Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes both out at this position. So in cash, you are probably getting to a Williams, a Wiggins, and a Barrett. And then only other guy I really want to throw out there for tournaments that I like would be Jaylen Brown. And I actually think Kawhi is fine too, because he'll be super low owned since he was questionable all day.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Noto, your thoughts at small forward, please.
Yeah, I love the OKC guys. Jalen Williams, massive usage rate expected against Memphis. Also like Aaron Wiggins, a guy that can put up a fantasy point per minute when he's playing alongside SGA. So you take SGA out the floor. I think he's going to be one of the better point per dollar options on the slate. I'm getting to RJ Barrett in my main lineup right now. Doesn't feel great against Boston, but again, the usage rate should go up with Ingram and Barnes both out. Love the Peyton Watson call. I think I'm just going to play it as if Murray's going to be out because I don't want to play any other shooting guards really, and that kind of helps take care of Pickett. And then small forward, you can play Peyton Watson. Then I might have to make some late swaps, but the midday downgrade is just always – it always seems like the guys end up being out. So I'm kind of going to play it that way. I like the Kawhi call in tournaments. He's been on a tear, and that questionable tag all day is going to keep that ownership down. And that will do it for me. I mean, Koulibaly's certainly viable, but I just don't want to lock up too many spots at 7 Eastern.
Did get some news. Bub is not starting. Are we concerned? Were we projecting this? Are we taking him out of lineups? Anything of note there?
I think he's still viable in tournaments, but I think that kind of probably takes him out of the cash game conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Noto, power forward thoughts?
Power forward thoughts. Noah Penda starting for the Magic, which is kind of interesting. Coming off a big game the other night. I probably won't get there, but he did have a nice game the other night. Power forward, love Zion. He's a guy that is easy to get to because of all the value. He's not overly expensive. Elite matchup against Washington. So I will just take Zion. I like Wiggins and Jalen Johnson as well. And Derek Queen, man, we talked about this the other night. The revenge narrative, and he played 18 minutes. Like, what? Did he get hurt, or was it just a random night where they didn't play him?
I don't know.
Just one of those random nights.
It's so bad. I hate it so much. And he puts up numbers still. It wasn't like he was struggling. He put up 29 fantasy points in 18 minutes. So I don't mind going back to him in tournaments. Everyone's going to be scared off of him. You can go to Kenrich Williams at 3,400. He's probably going to be one of the lower owned OKC guys tonight. Jaren Jackson, if you want to build, a game stack with the OKC guys and want somebody from the other side, he's got 45 plus fantasy point upside. We talked about Peyton Watson, and that will do it for me.
Okay,
TJ, power forward.
Yeah, I like a lot of the same guys tonight. Jalen Johnson is going to be my top choice. We just have so much value on this slate that it's really easy to pay up for him. And so he's number 1 for me, Zion number 2, Peyton Watson number 3. Then I'm going to the cheapies, Aaron Wiggins and Kenrich Williams. Prefer Wiggins, but I do think Kenrich Williams is an interesting pivot. And then I do have some Derek Queen, little Jaren Jackson Jr. and Santi Aldama, a little bit of Paolo Banchero. This is only like a throw it in a couple lineups out of 150 kind of thing. But I also do have a little bit of Ousmane Dieng, big man at 3K flat for OKC, just because they have so few bodies. And Carlson and Wiggins are both going to be very chalky. I made a rule of like max 1, Dieng, Carlson, and Kenrich, but I do have 5% Ousmane Dieng in 150 lineups.
Okay. I think that brings us to center, TJ.
Center spot, Ben Carlson is going to be mega chalk today, and I think as he should be, as long as he's in the starting lineup. If he's not, maybe you want to, I think he's still fine, but you might want to lower that exposure a little bit. Queen and Kenrich can be played here, but I probably am trying to get to them at the power forward position because I think center's a little stronger. Alexander Sarr, a really strong tournament option that I like tonight. Mark Williams, Onyeka Okongwu, 3 guys that I like. Sarr will be a little higher than them, but Okongwu and Mark Williams will both probably be in like the 5% range. And I think they're both really, really strong tournament plays. Against New York, Mark Williams is probably going to have to play more minutes just because they often have two centers on the floor, let alone just one. And so I do think Mark Williams is a very strong play. And then Embiid, another strong tournament option that I think will be very low owned.
Noto, your thoughts of center?
Yeah, Carlton's the chalk. He's averaged a fantasy point per minute this season. Should play minutes in the 20s tonight at 3,500. Embiid was the guy I was going to mention too. The minutes have been trending up. He's played 40, 33, 35, 38 in his last 5 games. So not too worried about a matchup against the Magic. I think he is going to fly under the radar since he was questionable all day. And then large field stuff. I mean, Okongwu's been playing really well, 45 plus in 4 of his last 6 games. Porzingis could be out. I believe he's still questionable. Yeah, he's still questionable. So he could be kind of a sneaky guy in that Denver game. Outside of that, I'm not touching anyone else in small field stuff.
Okay, very good. Guys, we get to flip it, head over to FanDuel. Before we do that, I want to make sure everybody is well aware of the best deal in the industry right now. It's Pick Labs. It's the newest Fantasy Labs feature. Let you scan for the best player prop and pick 'em bets in seconds. It happens in seconds. Everything's broken down for you. Edges, win rates, value. If you're playing on sites like Underdog, Prize Picks, it's great for that. Of course, any traditional sports books as well. Pick Labs builds the slip, sends it straight to the book of your choice, which is great. And for a limited time, you can get free access through a Fantasy Labs DFS subscription. Go to fantasylabs.com/pricing. Use code FLEX20 for $20 off your first payment. Very, very good. Let's kick it to FanDuel. Noto, I'll let you lead us off there at point.
Yeah, you know what's nice is FanDuel decided to leave the 3 games, late games off of their main slate. So we got the same guys to talk about, which is probably just going to sound like a broken record because we're just going to say the same names. But yeah, we got AJ Mitchell at 5,500, projecting for 64% ownership. Still think he's a great play. You have Emmanuel quickly in that first game. 6,500 is a pretty good price point there. Not going to be on Bub Carrington as much anymore. So I would rather play Trey Johnson. He's $300 cheaper. And again, I like his numbers with the on-off metrics. And then we have Jamal Murray, the Jalen Pickett situation. It just depends on if you want to take the risk with either of them and if you have a plan in place, because I'd love to play either one if they start.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, your thoughts at point?
Yeah, I do agree that Trey Johnson definitely the superior play to Bub Carrington now, especially on FanDuel where he's actually cheaper than him. Emmanuel quickly, another guy that is fine, but I'm going to likely be underweight to the field. We're dealing with the same Murray Pickett situation. And thankfully, Murray does have shooting guard eligibility as well on FanDuel. So it's a little easier to figure out what to do with him after lock. I want to play a ton of him. I'm probably going to be keeping it tight just because I like those plays so much. And I'm lock buttoning AJ Mitchell. So not a whole lot of other guys that I'm getting to.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to shooting guard.
Shooting guard spot. Thankfully, a lot of these really good point guards we want to play also have shooting guard eligibility. So it's so much easier to get in AJ Mitchell, Jamal Murray, or Pickett if that's what it comes to, and he happens to be out. Barrett has shooting guard eligibility over here. Christian Brown is coming right back into minutes, and he's only $4,300 over here on FanDuel, so he's totally fine. He'll get even better if Jamal Murray gets ruled out. And the other nice thing about Christian Brown is because so many of these guys are shooting guard eligible as well, if you're playing him and you just got a couple other spots to fiddle with and Jamal Murray happens to be out, it's not that hard to find $600 extra and get to Pickett at the point guard position instead. Isaiah Joe, only $3,900. I think he's still viable over here. And Trey Murphy's a little more expensive, but I don't mind him either.
Yeah. Okay. Noto, your thoughts at shooting guard?
Yeah, similar sentiments. You got Mitchell, you got Murray. I don't mind the Brown call. We haven't projected for 31 minutes against the Hawks without Jokic. Sign me up for that. And again, I love Trey Johnson. He's probably going to be my flag plant play of the night, especially with Bub coming off the bench. That'll do it for me at shooting guard.
Okay, small forward.
Jalen Williams, Aaron Wiggins, by far the top 2 plays. They're projecting for nearly 100% ownership combined. I like Jalen Johnson. Again, we have a ton of value on the slate, so we can easily get up to Johnson. And the fact that he's coming off of 2 down games is going to help with that ownership. Prior to the last 2 games, he had top 50 fantasy points in 14 straight games. So I think he gets back on that streak tonight. Brown here as well. And then the Peyton Watson situation, I think it's going to pay off big if Murray ends up being out. And if he ends up playing, I still think Watson can get you 40. I mean, he put up 47 and 42 in his last 2 games.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, your thoughts at small forward?
Yeah, sorry, 1 second. There we go. Jalen Williams, I think, is good chalk. Aaron Wiggins is chalk that I want to be a little lighter on today. Jalen Johnson, I think, is my favorite spend up on the slate. I'm right with Noto there. Peyton Watson looks really good, and that's it.
I didn't realize Peyton Watson was balling like that. I guess I've been in a cave. He is like when you said he's been putting up those numbers, I had to game log check that, and damn, I missed all that. Okay, power forward, TJ.
Before we do, Noto, I just want to ask you a quick question on what are your thought process. I know you don't usually play cash, right? But you do play one lineup.
One lineup, small field, single entry stuff. Tournaments.
I've been throwing out a lineup in cash and single entry lately, and I'm looking at a lineup that just does look really great, really smooth, and it's got Trey Johnson and Zion Williamson in it, but it would mean the only player in that late set of games would be Jamal Murray. Not a lot of swappability. What are your thoughts on this slate? Are those good enough plays that we should be locking them in a one lineup cash type setting? Or is this Murray news important enough that we really think we should be waiting on it?
Yeah, it's funny you ask because I have them both in my lineup right now. So I'm kind of dealing with the same thing you are. The question is, like, if Murray ends up being out, then who do you play? Like Booker, Brunson, Peyton Watson? Like, it doesn't feel great leaving that much salary on the table, but I don't know. That's kind of my plan right now. I just don't know what I'm going to do later on. Hopefully we just get the news sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Exactly.
TJ, I think we're still power forward
for TJ, right? Yes. A lot of the same guys we said at small forward, but Jalen Johnson is my favorite spend up on the slate. Williams, you can play here. Wiggins, I want to be underweight too. Zion, I like, but I am kind of scared to lock up these many positions when we are still waiting for that news. Watson, I think, is strong either way. And that is kind of my core of guys at that position.
Can we talk Jalen Johnson real quick? I mean, he's crazy priced at 10-7. But are we expecting him to now be worthy of that with Trae Young out? Like, is this guy going to start putting up 70 burgers every night? He's already been doing pretty damn well.
That's the thing. Yeah. Like, he's been worth that even with Trae Young.
Yeah. So you're on board.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. Okay. Noto, you on board?
Yeah, I mean, the offense runs through him, triple-double machine, and Porzingis could be out too, which will just help. So I like that game a lot. And, I mean, Denver's defense just isn't the same without Jokic too.
Yeah. Okay, power forward, other thoughts?
To me?
Sure.
Yeah, I like Zion. I mean, he's my favorite spend on the board. So I'm going to lock him in. You have Williams and Wiggins here. And Jalen Johnson. I think I'm going to play all 4 of those guys in my main lineup, at least on DraftKings. Outside of that, I mean, again, Kenrich Williams is going to be the guy on OKC that's not going to get a lot of love, but he can play well. The last time that they were really shorthanded, he put up 32 fantasy points. So he's interesting. And then I don't think you need to get too cute with any of the other guys, but Jackson and Okongwu for large field stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the big man center spot. Noto.
It's hard for me not to play Carlson, 3,800, good per minute producer. They need the size against Memphis. So I think he's just going to be my play over on FanDuel. But if you want to get different, I like Embiid. And that's pretty much it.
Pretty easy. TJ?
Yeah, a lot of the same stuff that Noto said. I really like Embiid as well. Like him a little bit more on DraftKings. Carlson is absolutely the cash game guy. And then Okongwu, I think, is a really strong tournament play, as is Mark Williams.
I'm landing on some Day'Ron Sharp over on DraftKings. Is that a crazy play? Is that just absolutely out of left field?
Yeah, it's incorrect. He's priced up because he had been starting while Claxton was on a minutes limit, and now he is no longer starting. Claxton's back in the starting lineup.
God, I love you guys. Okay,
good
stuff.
How are you landing on him?
I just was I had 5,100 or something. I had right in that range, and just I was game log watching, and I was like, oh, this dude. this dude could get it done. But that explains why I will find a pivot. Let's open it up to some QQs area wide for everybody. And we still have 11 minutes until we hit lock. Plenty of time for those questions. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, by the way. It is free content after all. These guys are helping, giving you some plays, answering your questions. All we ask is that you hit that thumbs up for us in return. So make sure you're doing that. I will make sure our Discord is up. And we'll dive into it. Let's go to CW's question, TJ. Penda or Kenridge? Penda.
I mean, Penda's going to be much lower owned, so I don't mind. In a GPP, I don't mind doing Penda there.
Okay. Noto, coming to you. Another one from CW. Better swap if you can't play Pickett because Murray plays. Goodwin or McBride?
Like TJ said, I think McBride's probably the way I would go.
Okay. Did get a few questions earlier about this name, so I'll open it up to both of you. Jamal Shed. Any interest from either of you in Jamal Shed?
I think on another slate I would, but with the OKC guys, it's hard for me to get there.
TJ?
Yeah, I don't plan on getting there either.
I'm trying to pull up my Discord and it's not opening, which is not ideal. So if you're in the Discord, try to drop your questions in the YouTube for me. I don't know why it's not opening up. Let's see what we've got. Lippy says, how's the condensation forecast looking tonight? No game in Chicago. I already checked this. And the next time there's a home game in Chicago, which I think is maybe tomorrow, it's going to be much colder. So the condensation will not be an issue. And yes, I did already do this research.
Do you guys remember the elevator fire in Mexico like 10 years ago, maybe?
No. Was
I
this
remember
an
the
NBA
roof
thing?
leaking in New Orleans.
Yeah, so it was back when Draft Street was around, so it was a long time ago. But yeah, and I think it was Condia. He ended up fading that game completely, so everyone was, thinking he won like hundreds of grands that night. Everyone just thought he was the one that somehow
he set the elevator fire. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that was a wild slate, and everyone was just pissed. It was back when like Kevin Love was with the Wolves, so it was a long time ago.
And was it during like a live finals, or was it during some like major event, or was it just a random?
No, but it was like the
night?
first NBA game in Mexico City, like ever or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't turn out
Hammer
great.
in the chat remembers Condia Gate.
Yeah. Let's see. How much OKC, TJ, is too much OKC? DK single entry small field. How many OKCers you got?
5 is too many. 4 is just fine.
Okay. Noto coming to you. Hoosiers hang banner, says FanDuel single entry. I got 4,100 or less at the guard spot. So either guard, FanDuel single entry, 4,100 or less.
All right. I mean, it's not great. You have Shed, who we just talked about. You can get 200 more for Brown. Would be good. Oh, Isaiah Joe. Yeah, do that. 3,900.
There you go. Okay. Noto, coming right back to you. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube and you're like, man, I never ask questions because I don't want to wait. I don't know. We're answering them as they come. So if you've ever had a question about anything, NBA, dinner, life in Canada and or Utah, now is the time to get those questions in. Noto, Watson or Okongwu in a DKGPP?
I like the idea of just leaving that open and then play Okongwu if Murray's playing and play Watson if Murray's out.
Okay. TJ, got one for you. This one's from our good friend Achilles. DK cash question. Quickly and Derek White or Jamal Murray and McBride?
Second one, and then if Murray's out, you flop it to Pickett and Brunson.
Okay, well done. Mamu or Boyles, TJ?
Mamu.
And can you pronounce his full name?
Sandru Mamukelashvili.
Just absolutely nailed it. Just 10 out of 10 it. Put him on the spot and he crushed it. That's what he does. Scrolling up a little bit. See if I missed anything earlier. Again, a nice reminder. Hit that thumbs up for us. TJ, who's your second favorite guy on OKC? This is for DraftKings. I guess who's your first favorite?
AJ Mitchell. Second favorite would be Ben Carlson.
Okay. I'm fading him. Is that insane?
No.
Okay.
He
Good.
could get you like 20 and not kill you.
That's kind of what I'm hoping is that, yeah. I'm hoping Penda outscores him. That's my hope. Noto, straight up Murray or Johnson, single entry.
I mean, I'll take, I don't know. I'll take Murray, but it's really close.
Okay. Noto, is Dort the guy on OKC that nobody's playing?
For sure. I just don't know if his role is going to change that much.
Yeah, he kind of is who he is, maybe. He's still the defensive dude.
Defensive guy that's going to sit there, and if he's open, he'll shoot, but he's not going to create a lot himself.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, got a couple questions for you coming in. Let's see. Any Zubac on FanDuel single entry?
It's not awful or bad. I don't think I would get there, though, on only one center site.
Okay. TJ, right back to you. This is a question from good old Jim in the YouTube as well. Jim hit the thumbs up. I know he did. Champagny for Washington on a DK GPP.
He is in my pool, but not somebody that I'm getting a lot of. I have 5% Champagny in 150 lineups. So not somebody I'd want to play in a single entry, but somebody who is in my pool.
Okay. TJ, got a question for you. Cleveland Picker says, question from my boy TJ. Your top 3 value plays on FanDuel tonight. You're about to tell me 3 OKC guys.
Yeah, AJ Mitchell, Ben Carlson, and if Murray is out, it would be Pickett. As it stands, my third favorite would be honestly, I think Isaiah Joe.
Okay.
He's just so cheap compared to everyone else on FanDuel.
Yeah. Ricky Rose says, I'm having pepperoni stromboli for dinner. Do you gentlemen dabble in the stromboli?
No.
No?
It sounds good, though.
Oh, God. Freaking love a good stromboli. It's like, TJ, it's like an inside-out pizza. It's like a pizza wrapped up on itself. Oh, my God. It's amazing.
What's a calzone? How is that different from a
calzone? It's all the way around wrapped in dough. What I assume from a stromboli is it's open on the sides.
I gotta Google it. I don't know the difference.
Like a calzone, it's the meat and the cheese and the sauce in the middle, but you can't see any of it until you take a bite.
See, but that's kind of what I thought. Okay, a calzone is a folded half-moon shape, yada yada yada. A stromboli is a rolled log-shaped Italian American creation. They pretty much seem
folded,
the same.
The other's rolled.
One is folded and one is rolled. Okay, all right, it's the same thing. The cheese is what makes the calzone different. Okay, There you go. Let's see. Oh, Noto, coming to you. Kaishan George or your boy Poole?
I mean, yeah, you know my answer.
It's Kaishan. He does not play pool. He never plays pool. He never will play pool. Paul says, Noto, Watson or Porter in a DK GPP?
I'm going Watson, but I mean, I don't think anybody's going to play MPJ.
Okay. TJ, Cam Spencer?
Large field GPP, I think it's viable as viable as is. If Coward happens to be out, then I think he's a great play.
Okay. DK GPP, TJ, right back to you from Derek. Dort and Cat or Joe and Brunson?
Dort and Cat or Joe and Brunson.
Okay. Roth, what is the Vietnamese sandwich that you like? It's a banh mi. BANH space MI. God, it's the greatest.
Yeah, those are good.
The greatest. Must find a Vietnamese restaurant near you and try a banh mi.
Stromboli is a glorified hot pocket. Is that a hot take?
I think that's accurate, but a delicious one. So, is Caruso in play, Noto, with all the OKC value and other strong plays?
I think he's still questionable. I mean, I don't think he's going to see much of an uptick in minutes. He's one of those guys that they just play, 18 minutes regardless. So I don't.
They're saving him for playoffs so he can guard Jokic again.
Yeah.
Okay. So TJ, you're out. You're out on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Jim says, I got another question. If it's okay, Booker. That was the question. It was just one word, really. Booker. No.
Yeah, like I said, he's had one outing over 50 fantasy points in 2 months. So the ceiling's not there, but the floor is fine at 8,400 on DraftKings.
Okay. TJ, thoughts on Iguodala outscoring Joe or Carlson, please and thank you.
Maybe, but I don't think that means you want to play Iguodala, because all that means to me is that Joe and Watson failed. I don't think Iguodala is going to have some performance that you want in fantasy. I think Carlson and Joe both have way higher ceilings.
Yeah. Okay. We are roughly 1 minute away from lock, approximately. Sean says, TJ, is Penda going to top 35? I'm saying yes. Oh, wait, he says 25. I meant 25. Definitely. If he doesn't do that, I'm screwed. So I'm still saying yes. TJ, will he top 25 or 35, TJ?
35, no. 25. I like it.
All right, good. I need that. I need him to outscore Carlson. Moments until lock. If you've got any questions, get them in. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, now is as good a time as any. I'm now craving Italian. Gonna have to see if I can get a decent Stromboli anywhere here in Houston.
Just so you know how bold of a tournament switch that is, Roth. We got Carlson projected for 27 fantasy points and Penda for 19.9. So you're gonna be unique.
No, that's wrong. I mean, I look at a game log and that my boy Penda's putting up 25 plus for sure.
The game logs tell me that's wrong, and so it must be wrong.
Yeah, these projections. Who makes those things anyways? Oh, we do, and they're great. Oh, okay. All right, guess what? We have hit the lock. We are going to clear on out of here. Can we fade the Washington players? Last question on the way out. Noto, can we fade?
It's too late to change your mind on that, but yeah, I think you can.
Yeah. All right. If it's if you did it already, then you're in a good spot. All right. So for Noto, for TJ, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We will catch you tomorrow. Enjoy some good football this weekend. You have been crunched.